So I said, knowing the dimensions, each one by itself is useful because that's how we teach them. If you know, we teach the boundless dimension first first we work with presence and its qualities. And the qualities are not necessarily diamond form, they just appear like red fire or green, region in the heart, or fluid clarity in the head, or so these are the qualities before the dimension. Then the dimension begin to arise when you see everything is love, right? And everything is love and beautiful and good, and which many have been describing. And then as you experience that and that become integrated, the more you realize you are that. You're not just part of that, but you are that, and you understand it. That understanding automatically takes you to the next one, which is like all that sort of disappears, and disappears explicitly, and you find yourself as this clear fullness of presence. Everything is just pure being, pure presence, with no qualities, with no color. And as you understand that, recognize it, that is your ipsity, your true self and your true nature, that then takes you to the next one, which is pure awareness, transparent, empty awareness. The integrated dimension help us reveal, show, or understand why is it, what's the differentiation for, and how is it related to ordinary experience. Obviously, the differentiation is partly for the fact that people are different. Some love speaks to them more than anything else. Some presence speaks to them more. Some awareness speaks to them more. Some emptiness speaks to them more. Some aliveness speaks to them more. People are different that way. So true nature has that intelligence of discrimination, so it presents itself in such a way in all these variations. But also, the other important reason is that each one has a reflection of it in ordinary experience. Without it, there won't be certain elements of ordinary experience. Like ordinary experience, for instance, has in it the fact that we have affect, we have feelings, right? Part of being a human being is that we feel emotions and affects and feelings. If there was no such thing as divine love, there will not be affect, because divine love is the primary affect, love. And from that comes all other affects. The Supreme, for instance, is a self, not only presence, but a self-knowing presence, the presence that has the capacity of what you call basic knowing. It's a self-knowing presence that knows it is presence and knows the quality that it is. It knows I am presence, it knows I am the presence of love, it knows I am the presence of intelligence. It has knowing in it. We call that basic knowing or essential discrimination. And if it wasn't, and we see that basic knowingness, which is called gnosis or yeshe or jnana in Sanskrit, if it wasn't for that, there will not be the capacity of knowing in the ordinary mind, because this is the basis of knowing. So the reflection of it in our ordinary experience is the capacity to know, in ordinary sense, to know anything. And after that, the nameless or pure awareness, which is just awareness without knowing, is obviously a reflection of it in our ordinary experience, is that we have perception. We have experience, we're aware. Although we don't know what is the awareness, what is the nature of awareness, we just see its reflection. It's like each one of those dimensions collapses in the dualistic perception or the ordinary experience as those qualities or capacities. And when we get to the absolute, you will see that the absolute, without the absolute, there will not be a place or a clearing or space for all these things to occur. All these things occur because the next dimension, like it manifests, although the absolute itself, whose nature is a pure absence, which has no extension. Absence is not a space. Its impact in the nameless and supreme is the beginning presence of spaciousness, space, which manifests in our experience as space, measurable space, within which phenomena arise and experience happen. So if we did not have these differentiations, we wouldn't understand these relationships. We won't know how this ordinary experience is related to the non-dual experience. Most non-dual teaching, they just say it's just imagination. It's just an illusion or illusion-like. And even though that is true from the perspective, the final dimension of descent, it doesn't truly give us an understanding. It doesn't really explain how come ordinary experience has all these characteristics, these features, which are fundamental to it. Without it, there will be no experience, no existence, no life. So in the journey of essence, we learn about each dimension on its own. That way, when we get to divine love, we really know about love completely. If we just go to the non-dual, that where all of them are mushed together, we experience love, but we won't know everything that can be known about love. We won't be able to focus, like we're zeroing in love itself and finding everything else, what love is, what is its role, what is its contribution, how it's impact people, what is its feeling like, and all of that. You see, when you hear non-dual teaching talk about love, it's one of the things that occur, and they mention it in passing. Which is enough for liberation. But here in this teaching, we're not just interested in liberation. We're interested in the development of the soul, the usage of the human intellect, and the evolution of the human race. Because the purely non-dual primordial dimension, evolution and development are irrelevant and illusionary anyway. What matters is the primordial condition, which is true. What matters fundamentally is the primordial condition. But that's, you could say, 3,000 years ago, that was good, enough. But now, when we are in a postmodern world, most people think that's not enough. If we didn't have the differentiation, we won't have the technology we have now. It's as simple as that. Differentiation and discrimination allows science. That's why I notice in studying the literature of the purely non-dual that don't have differentiation, they don't make a distinction between the direct experience, mythology, and superstition. They're all there together. The cultural superstitions and the mythology and the non-dual, they're all there. There's something real, but it's mixed with all kind of images of gods and goddesses or beings of different kinds and all kind of ideas that are really more of a mythology. But our science came to separate religion from discriminating knowledge, which became science, to say it's not mythology, it is not superstition. In fact, that's what Galileo and those people did, and why the church didn't like it, because it dispensed with the mythology, which is a lot of what's in the Bible, right? And superstition that came because of it. So in other words, I'm saying that the way that allows differentiation and the value of differentiation also allow the development of objective science. Although the science is not about true nature and sometimes doesn't recognize its sources or its origin and true nature and its differentiation, but it is a development that has contributed to the human race. It might be ultimately our undoing, but hopefully true nature and its wisdom will develop it in a way that will reveal more the richness of true nature to more people than ever before, instead of just being our undoing.